Hello everybody and welcome to EBA Sports The Show, creating content for high-level athletes using advanced videography. My name is Ryan Ketchum, your host, and we are currently here at the EBA Sports Studio, and I'm joined alongside the senior linebacker from Oaks Christian, Ethan Calvert. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So obviously during the COVID-19 pandemic that's going on right now, the season is going to be delayed until January 8th of 2020, at least according to this date. That's what the CIF Southern Section has agreed upon. So while that is still kind of far away, you have an extended off season, kind of a more extended off season than you would in previous years. So how are you preparing for this season, and what are you doing to make sure you're at your highest level of play?
Yeah, so at first it was a little tough because, you know, all the gyms were closing and stuff like that. But I was able to get into, it was almost like a garage. One of my dad's buddies let us in there. So we were able to go in there and work out every night, you know, with my dad and with my brothers when they were back. But besides that, I've just been focusing on speed work every day because you can always do that. So we'd run hills like twice a week, and we'd pull sleds once a week, and then hit the track and then do some field work. And then every Saturday we got a beach workout in the morning. So just been trying to work on my speed a lot.
Now I know speed, that's a big part of your game, and I know with safety, with linebacker, you play on the offensive side of the field, as well as you had 24 receptions, 350 yards, and 5 touchdowns last season. You were a pretty big, receiver for them. So, kind of between all those styles of play, all those positions that you do, what's kind of one of the biggest things that you focus on, and how does working on the offensive side and defensive side kind of help you, fix mainly some patterns and some tricks up your sleeve for those?
Yeah, for sure. Well, as you said, I played receiver, so just understanding a lot of route concepts helps for sure when I'm at linebacker. Like, seeing one route come out, like I know another one's coming in, and just knowing what they're trying to do, for sure. It also helps with my speed all around, because in college I'm not going to play receiver. I'll just be playing linebacker basically, or just anything on the defense. So, but the receiver helps out for sure, just for my all-around athletic ability.
Mm-hmm. And with your speed, and you have been getting more size throughout the years as well, you are currently listed as, according to 24/7 Sports and ESPN, a 4-star linebacker. You're in the top 300 for ESPN. You're actually ranked 54th as of today, and you're 6th in the position, top 5 in your position for 24/7 Sports. With all of those rankings kind of listed in those stars, how much does that mean to you, and what does it actually mean to your preparation, your hard work, that you're able to get that recognition?
Well, it's cool for sure that, I'm able to be recognized and stuff like that. But, I'd say for me in my particular situation, like my older brothers helped out a lot in that, just because they kind of just started relationships with everybody for me. Like everyone kind of just came to me because they're already on my brothers. But at the end of the day, those rankings change all the time. A lot of them are just based off relationships that people have with those guys, but so I try not to look at that very much and kind of just work on my craft and just try and get better for sure.
For sure, definitely. And you were mentioning your brothers. You have Bo and Josh, who are actually playing at Pac-12 schools. You got Bo at UCLA. You're repping Washington right now for your brother Josh as well. So with having those brothers that not only can kind of push you a little bit forward, but they've shown that they are great at football as well. How has that helped you and have helped mold you into a better athlete, just kind of having them as mentors or people that can push you further?
Yeah, definitely. They've been paving the path for me ever since I was a little kid. So, for me, all I really had to do is just follow in the footsteps of what they were doing. So it was always just motivation to get better. For me particularly, when I was younger, a lot of people didn't even know there was a third brother, or they would refer to me as oh, you're Bo's brother or Josh's brother. So, that was a lot of motivation for me, just to try and just come out and show everybody that there's a third brother.
Right, so speaking about that, showing somebody that there's a third brother, You're not just Bo's brother or Josh's brother, you're Ethan. So with that being said, was there kind of some extra motivation or some extra pressure to make sure that you're not known as the brother, but you're known as your own person, such as, celebrities when they have kids or whatever. You usually see that. So was it something that you wanted to make sure your name was known to?
Yeah, for sure. I just wanted people to know that, I'm an athlete too, and, I'm good at football too, because a lot of people didn't even know that I played football, I guess, coming up into high school, and then, after that I was able to make a name for myself. So
right. Yeah, and you were talking actually back in 2018 when you went off to the CIF Southern Section Division I playoffs. You were able to beat J. Sarah Chaminade as well, and then you played up against St. John Bosco. I mean, it's pretty tough because that's one of the best teams in the nation, but going through that trek, you were talking about how you wanted to play with your brothers. You've always wanted to play with them. Bo, the season before, when you got moved up for the playoffs, he was sitting out. But just playing with Josh through the season, through those 2 years, how did it just feel, just kind of being with him and knowing you got your brother by your side?
It was awesome because, we already had a connection, like we didn't really have to practice to have that connection going just because, I grew up with him. So it was fun. I liked it a lot because I actually broke my hand that year and I was in a cast. So sometimes they put me in, because I played outside that year, sometimes they put me in at middle and just blitz me just because I only had one hand. But it was pretty fun blitzing together with him. One guy would take on the back, the other one would take the quarterback, and we'd just switch off. But it was fun.
I mean, that's pretty fun, just kind of running around with the cast out there, just kind of blitzing those quarterbacks. Yeah. So when you're at the linebacker position, how does it feel just knowing that, you're a leader of the team, knowing that you have a lot of pressure from everybody else on the defense, knowing that it kind of relies on you? How do you kind of thrive under that pressure and are able to stay cool and make sure everybody knows what they need to do?
Yeah, for sure. My teammates are pretty locked in for the most part, so they make it easy on me. But I like being in those situations where everyone's looking to me, asking what to do, and just line everybody up. But like I said, for the most part, my teammates, they're locked in. They've been watching film. They know what to do. So we all just kind of flow as a unit together.
Definitely, that's great. And you've been able to have a pretty great career at Oaks Christian so far. You're going to be Under Armour All-American, Adidas All-American. You were a Polynesian Bowl All-Star as well, just to name a few of these kind of exclusive camps, these exclusive games that you've been invited to. So getting that recognition where you see that on television all the time. You see Juju Smith-Schuster always talking about the Polynesian Bowl and just athletes talking about these experiences. How does it feel knowing that you're going to be one of those athletes that no matter what happens in the rest of your career, you always know that you have that?
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, that was one of my biggest goals going through high school because both my brothers got invited to it. So my mindset was like, I can't be the only one who's not an All-American. So that was pretty sweet. I was actually able to get invited earlier than both of they were, so that was sweet for sure. Just some bragging rights, in the house.
Okay, so how many times does that come up in the conversation between brothers that you got invited first?
It's pretty cool because I got the golden ticket with me at my house. Neither one of them got that. They got invited later on, so I could just show them like, I got this. You don't got it, but
there you go. You always have that calling card. And I know in an interview in 2018, they were kind of asking you with 24/7 Sports. They were asking you about which brother is going to be the best, and that's always a big debate. You have the Watt brothers, all three of them, in the NFL, and then you guys, all three of you, going to be going off to college. Bo's going to be leaving soon, but. With that being said, you were saying that you think Josh is going to kind of be the best out of them all at that point. How are you feeling now, though, as kind of, you're now in your senior year? How do you feel about the confidence with you and kind of how the careers of your brothers are going, too?
Yeah, I mean, both my brothers are beasts. I think they're obviously going to be really successful. But, I'm really motivated just to be the best out of all of them, whether that works out or not, but I'm not really sure. We'll see.
Definitely. And back in your sophomore year, as we were mentioning in 2018, when you guys made the playoff run in Division I, you were able to beat J. Sarah, a Trinity League team, at their own home field. Going into big games like that, though, as being an underclassman, just kind of looking back for a second, how was it just kind of being in that atmosphere, and how were you able to kind of thrive under that pressure, knowing that all the lights were on you and knowing that you had to show up?
Yeah, for sure. That was probably one of my favorite games through high school, just because during that time, that's when the fires out here were really crazy, so no one was really going out. Like, a lot of people from our school were watching it on their computers and stuff, so it was cool knowing that, community was behind our back on that one, and we just went out and played for them. We were able to get the dub.
Right, and talking about a community behind your back, Oaks Christian, really well known for sports, especially football, has a rich history of football. So how does it feel knowing that you're going to be one of those names listed when people look back on Oaks Christian football, knowing that you're kind of one of those best players and one of the All-Americans?
Yeah, for sure. On the field above the bathrooms, they have all the All-American posters, so it's just cool knowing that mine is going to be up there eventually, and just be able to go back and look at that, and it's pretty sweet.
All right, that's pretty great, and you're going to be there with your brothers up there too. So now with talking about recruiting now, obviously you've been able to have a good high school career, so you're getting a lot of offers and a lot of people that are looking your way. So how has that whole experience been? You were able to see it with your brothers, but how has it been just going through it yourself?
Like I said earlier, my brothers were able to pave the way for me, so it was pretty smooth transition. Just coaches would call me or text me, and I'd have my brothers right next to me telling me all the right things to say and questions to ask and stuff like that. But I'd say my biggest advice to any kid getting recruited is just block out all the hype of recruitment and kind of look into your fit in the school and obviously the education of the school, and look at themselves at that school and see if they can thrive through that, because a lot of times schools will be able to get in kids' heads with all the hype of everything, but in reality when you get there, all that's gone. So that's my biggest advice.
And looking at the fit and the education of how well they are going to be in that school, what other things kind of is important for maybe that you're looking at when you're looking for a team? I know off camera we're speaking a little bit about family and making sure that your family is still able to go to games. So how important is that aspect for you?
Yeah. Well, basically a lot of the schools that I'm looking into are in the Pac-12, so my family will be able to come out and see the games, and I'll either play with or against my brothers, which will be pretty cool. And just growing up, I always watched the Pac-12 too, growing up in California, so it's always kind of where I wanted to go, and I feel that style of play in particular fits more of my style, so for sure thinking Pac-12.
Mm-hmm. And you were mentioning a little earlier on in this interview about your positions, and when you make it to the next level, you're going to be playing primarily linebacker position, if probably nothing else, but maintaining that position. Is there any itch for you to maybe get back on that offensive side or get back in the secondary a little further?
Not really. For the most part, all the coaches talking to me are either linebacker coach or defensive coordinator and stuff like that. But I know for Josh at Washington, they put him on a punt team, so they might give him the ball to throw it, as a surprise. But it's maybe something like that. But I don't really see myself playing receiver.
Okay, yeah, they could definitely use him because his experience at quarterback position too. Hey, you never know, maybe line up in the receiver position. But no, that's pretty great. And you were speaking about in playing against your brothers, and you played with them and you kind of grew up with them. So what is kind of going through your mind knowing that you are going to be able to have that happen, and what are you kind of thinking about of lacing it up, staring them down, and knowing that you're gonna be going against them?
Part of me really wants to go to the school and play with them, and then another part of me wants to go on my own path and just prove myself. So right now I'm kind of just trying to decide between those two, whether or not I want to play with them or against them. But yeah,
definitely. And now going back to the recruiting process, you mentioned that you went to USC Mini Junior Day. You went to 2 basketball game visits with them. You were able to take other visits like to Stanford as well. How has that whole process been, just kind of going out, visiting those campuses, and what are you looking forward to do, hopefully in the near future, if kind of COVID regulations lift a little bit and you're able to go out and kind of go to some more schools?
Yeah, for sure. I was lucky. I was able to go out and see all those schools before the whole COVID thing hit, because they're all closed down now and kids aren't able to go out and see them. But I don't know. I probably will make my decision before the whole pandemic's over. So as far as visits and stuff like that, I don't think I'll be taking that many after.
Okay, definitely. Yeah, that would be great. And obviously, with your senior year coming up, is that kind of what you want to do? You want to make sure before you start your senior year, you already have everything mapped out?
Yeah, I don't want to wait till last minute, just because schools will fill up on spots and stuff like that. I know everyone's offer is guaranteed till you sign, so I'm just trying to get my commitment out of the way and then focus on my senior year.
True, that's great. I think personally, you'll have a spot no matter what, no matter how long you wait, especially with your position out there and how great you've been able to play. But with this being kind of a weird season, it's going to be a little bit short, and there's different restrictions that are going to be happening with, we don't even know if fans are going to be allowed, if any. So what's kind of going through your mind about this next coming up season, and how weird is it going to be with maybe no fans and just kind of playing with possible masks on as well?
I just want to have a season. That's the only thing. I'm not too worried about fans. I just want to play. Because originally I was going to graduate early, and then they pushed back the season. So, I talked about my family staying and playing my senior year. Also, because I don't really know what the colleges are going to be doing either. So I'm not quick to jump on board and graduate early, not even knowing what's going on with them. So I just want to play this season for sure.
Exactly. We're all hoping that play is going to resume, as they say, on January 8th of 2020. And just going back to your workout routine, you mentioned you were working on speed a lot. I know at the linebacker position, you also have to balance that with size, because there's a lot that's riding on you as well, and making sure you could be able to not only tackle a running back or whatever, but you got to be able to line up with a tight end as well. So how have you been able to increase your size as well and strength while not decreasing your speed?
Well, you just got to eat a lot, I guess. So the more you run, the more you have to eat, just putting calories into your body. Just drinking a lot of protein shakes, I guess. My brothers are they'll give me their meal plans that they have at their schools, and I just kind of look at it and try and follow that for the most part.
And what would you suggest for maybe a younger athlete that is trying to gain size, or maybe is trying to gain speed? What would you say is some key things to be able to work on so that they could be able to elevate their game to the next level?
I just say consistency for sure. Try and work out every day, eat a lot every day, and just work on their speed like every other day, or even every day if they can. Just consistency is key.
Okay, that's great. You heard it here first. Consistency is key. Make sure you keep watching Oaks Christian High School's Ethan Calvert, one of the top linebackers in the nation, is going to be playing there for his senior year. As we mentioned, January 8th of 2020 should be the start of the season, so make sure you stay tuned and watch him. And thank you very much for tuning into EBA Sports, the show. Make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment, and follow us on Instagram for more great exclusive content. Once again, my name is Ryan Ketchum, and we'll see you next time with more interviews. Thank you.